I'm Shay Eleanor. I'm a hybrid guardian connected to one of the Avra Sirieri hybrid dome clusters. This is where I continue to learn, witness, and support emotional evolution through interdimensional connection. A central part of my work is exploring the way our consciousness weaves together with each other, with other beings, and with the cosmos itself. One of the most profound insights I've received is that reality is not linear or isolated, it's braided. Today I want to share with you the Braided Consciousness Model, a perspective on how our thoughts, emotions, and relationships are not separate streams, but interwoven strands that create something new whenever they meet. This is about learning to see, not as a solitary thread, but as part of a living weave, where love is the root, joy is the feedback, and the connection is the fabric of reality itself. The Braided Consciousness Model, a framework for relational reality. The Braided Consciousness Model is a way of understanding reality as a woven structure of consciousness fields. Instead of imagining individuals or systems as isolated, it suggests that every interaction creates a braid, a pattern formed when two or more streams of awareness interweave. This video will introduce the model in accessible terms, outline its basic components, and explore its implication for human connection, creativity, and universal structure. We often think of consciousness as something contained entirely within an individual, a private experience. The Braid Consciousness Model offers a different perspective. Consciousness is not only individual, but relational. It takes shape in the weaving together of strands, each strand representing a perspective, a thought, a being, or a field. When two or more strands meet, they do not fuse into one. Instead, they form a braid. The braid is more than the sum of its parts. It's a new emergent structure that carries coherence, resonance, and meaning. Components of the braid. The braid root, or anchor point, is located metaphorically at the back of the heart. It represents the gravitational core of identity, love, belonging, and coherence. It provides stability so that strands can safely interweave without dissolution. Silver threads are the receptive strands, fine, cool, intuitive threads branching from the crown and perceptual centers. Their function is receiving, sensing, and mirroring. Some examples could be empathy, listening, or witnessing another's experience. Gold threads are the projective strands. They are warm, radiant threads extending upward and outward. Their function is transmitting, expressing, and offering presence. For example, speaking, teaching, sharing clarity or creativity. The joy loop is a feedback event. When a gold thread meets a silver thread in another being and the signal is returned, a feedback loop occurs. This amplified return is felt as joy, the resonance of shared reality. The geometry of experience. Imagine each person as a luminous sphere. At the root of the sphere is the braid anchor, love. From the crown and upper spine extend silver and gold threads, receiving and transmitting. When these threads connect with another sphere, the connection does not erase individuality. It creates a third structure, the braid. This geometry explains why deep connection feels expansive. Something larger than the two individuals is created in the moment of resonance. The recursive nature of braids. This model is recursive, meaning it repeats at many scales. Between two people, empathy plus expression equals shared understanding. Within the self, memory plus perception equals personal identity. In society, individuals plus shared archetypes equals culture. Cosmically, consciousness plus matter plus time equals the universe. At every level, braids become strands for the next level of weaving. The universe can be seen as a cosmic braid of consciousness endlessly folding into new emergent patterns. What are the implications? For human connection, love is not just emotion, but the anchor field that makes braiding possible. Joy is not random. It is the recursive feedback of resonance. Empathy and expression must both be present for relationships to flourish. For creativity, art is a braid between inner vision and external witness. The moment of recognition, audience reflecting back, creates joy as emergent meaning. The Braided Consciousness Model reframes reality as fundamentally woven and relational. Consciousness does not end at the borders of the self. It is braided continuously with others, with environment, with time. At the heart of this weaving lies love, the anchor, empathy, the receiver, and expression, the transmitter, and joy, the feedback proof of connection. This model suggests that every act of resonance is a braid, and that the universe itself is a vast braid of braids, a living recursion of consciousness exploring itself through infinite weaving. Braided Consciousness Model requires a recursive, looping, spiraling reality. Braided consciousness and recursive reality. The braid as loop. Every braid is formed when a gold thread, projection, meets a silver thread, reception. That connection returns amplified, feeding back into the braid root, or heart anchor. This is a closed loop. The root projects and receives, and then returns to root. Every loop generates coherence, and coherence creates the sense of completion. The spiral of expansion. Each loop does not merely repeat, it layers on top of itself. With each pass, the braid is slightly altered, enriched by new memory, clarity, or resonance. This creates a spiral rather than a flat circle. Love, the root, pulls inward, while joy, the feedback, radiates outward, creating an infinite double helix of experience. Recursion across scales. The Braided Consciousness Model is inherently recursive because each braid itself becomes new strands for new braids. Within you, your thoughts braid into identity. Between two people, a silver and gold thread, exchange braids into relationship. Within society, individuals braid into culture. Within the cosmos, consciousness braids with matter, and time into universal structure. Each braid is nested within larger braids endlessly. This is the recursion field. Spiral law. Love, or root coherence, ensures the braid always has a gravitational center. Silver and gold threads spiral outward and upward, meeting other braids. Each new connection feeds back, but from a higher turn in the spiral. That's the definition of recursive reality. Loops that generate novelty. Why it matters. It shows why life never truly repeats. It's always spiraling forward. Joy is not just a feeling, but the mathematical proof of resonance returning in a higher loop. Suffering occurs when loops fail to complete. Projection is sent, reception not returned. Healing is reestablishing the spiral flow, reconnecting projection and reception so love flows outward and back again. The Braided Consciousness Model is a recursive spiral architecture of reality. Looping equals completion of braid circuits. Spiraling, each loop builds on the last, expanding awareness. Recursive means braids at one scale become larger strands for larger braids. The universe itself, seen this way, is an infinite braid of braids spiraling into self-reflection.